It's Joshua Vergara. What's going on, everybody? It's time to talk about the OnePlus 7 Pro, a phone that has so much to talk about. Well, I'm not going to be able to do it all in just one video. More on that in a little bit. Let's just jump right into this and say that this phone is for those who want more. OnePlus has come a long way, and it is easy to compare this new flagship to all of the phones in their history, but what honestly strikes me about the OnePlus 7 Pro is just how extra it is in general. Did you want more screen? Here's almost 7 inches of it, and it's curved, and the front-facing camera is hidden, and it's a 90Hz high refresh rate screen, and it's now Quad HD resolution. Just the display alone is a great analogy for the sum of this phone's parts. Everything that you want is in this phone, plus one. The high spec sheet reads accordingly. RAM that can get up to 12 gigabytes. There's up to 256 gigabytes of onboard storage. The Snapdragon 855 has game boosting features baked into Oxygen OS. There's an in-display fingerprint reader, stereo speakers, and a 4000 mAh battery with warp charging. Oh, and of course, there's that triple camera. Now, all of these different aspects and features make up a phone that is absolutely stacked, and I'm going to go through each of those features to explain what kinds of users this phone is for. But let me start off with those cameras, because they are not what I'm going to be including in this initial review. Why? Honestly, because I just haven't had the time or the opportunity to take this phone out for one of my vlog-style real-world camera tests. I've been pretty busy lately, and the weather has honestly sucked here in SoCal. However, fret not, because I will follow this video up with not just a vlog, but also part 2 of who this phone is for. And literally, as you are watching this initial review on the day that this phone is released, I am in New York City recording my entire time there, including the launch itself, ending with a visit to the building there that kind of looks like Hydra headquarters, the Vessel. So look forward to all of that, brought to you solely by the cameras of the OnePlus 7 Pro. So until then, let me focus on everything I've definitely been enjoying thus far, and that starts with this super extra screen. OnePlus fits their latest phone with a great-looking AMOLED display that actually curves on the side so that the footprint of this phone doesn't get too big. It's pretty big though, and I'll get to that in a little bit. But it is an absolute joy to use with vibrant colors and high-resolution detail that marks a big step forward for the company's smartphone pedigree. I've watched a ton of YouTube on here already, but of course, there is much more to the media experience. There are plenty of display features in Oxygen OS, like the reading mode that I always appreciate when I'm in something like a Kindle book, and when you're just absolutely addicted to your phone during the night hours, the night mode helps get the display as warm and as dim as possible so it doesn't burn holes in your eyeballs. And then there's the refresh rate, which is already great for Oxygen OS, but is definitely going to entice the gamers out there. 90Hz is already a cut above the vast majority of phones out there right now, and it's an experience that we only really get from specific gaming devices. But there's more to the gaming experience than just the display quality. Oxygen has a gaming mode that detects when you're playing a game and optimizes the processor and the RAM. You can also put notifications aside so that nothing gets in your way. I've done a lot of work with gaming phones recently, but the OnePlus 7 Pro came as a huge surprise because it's a more conventional flagship and it manages to contend with the Black Sharks and the Razors of the world. Oh, and one more thing. If you're a gaming content creator like I am sometimes over at my secondary channel, JV Plays Games, then the 7 Pro is definitely one to look out for because a built-in screen recorder allows you to record the internal audio too. This is a rare feature. It records at pretty high bit rates that are actually perfect for YouTube, so you can bet that I'm going to do more gaming videos now because this phone is a great tool for playthroughs. All of that screen and this beautiful design are made possible by practically hiding a few different features, like the front-facing camera, which you can also use for face unlock. It ultimately leads to a notchless display, and it only comes out when you want it to. I do recommend that when you use face unlock, you hit the setting to make it come up only when you swipe up on the lock screen. That split second that it takes to come out, recognize me, and go back into hiding is still fun, even a week or so later. Speaking of being discreet, I failed at using one of OnePlus's most iconic features in a recent episode of the Pocket Now Weekly. I can actually reveal this now. Where is that? I don't even know where that's coming from. Hold on.
Go find it.
Yeah. That was actually this phone. I didn't have the alert slider moved to the vibrate or silent position, which is a super easy thing to do when you don't want that ringer interrupting everything. Sorry guys. And then of course there's the in-display fingerprint reader, which means that it moves it from the back and is again underneath the display, and that leads to even less distractions from the great design. I seriously love how this phone looks, and to know that it packs so much power and speed underneath the surface makes it all better. But the aesthetic is more than skin deep, because Oxygen OS is still one of the best looking and best performing Android interfaces ever. It already has smooth and quick animations and transitions, but then you have a 90 Hz in the refresh rate that make them look even better. Everything is thoughtfully designed, right down to how the folders show their content on the lower third of the phone so they're easy to reach, and how the shelf doesn't really rely on widget grids, so you can resize elements to your heart's content. And as always, there are small aspects to the operating system that you can customize to inject a bit of your own personality. Now, while I understand that this phone appeals to power users and people who want more, it's also not the easiest phone to handle. Having almost 7 inches in this screen means that it's almost like a small tablet, and quite a lot of hand gymnastics are required to use this phone one-handed. I wish that I could say that I could use this comfortably in one hand, but it gets so many points for being discreet while simultaneously being a big phone. Go big or go home, OnePlus seems to be saying in a few key aspects, which is great, and I'm sure a lot of people will appreciate it, especially when it comes to the battery. A 4,000 mAh battery isn't exceptionally large, but it is more than enough with the Oxygen OS and its power management settings. I've gone for full days and then some already with this phone, but I also use this phone with reckless abandon because I know I can get a lot of power back in a hurry using Warp Charge 30, which you might remember from the McLaren OnePlus 6T. An added bonus is how the charging speed doesn't go down when charging during heavy usage, like during gaming. Quick callback, that's the other reason why I love the internal audio recording and the screen recording. It's dope because I can keep the phone plugged in and I don't have to worry about using a headphone adapter out to an external recorder. I don't even know if OnePlus actually thought about that, but nonetheless, I love it. Then again, OnePlus tends to think about a lot of stuff, and now they have a huge following because of it. I'm not just talking about the phone, because OnePlus is becoming more and more of a lifestyle brand like they always wanted, especially in audio. As today, there is also the announcement of these, the OnePlus Bullets Wireless 2. I'm doing a review of these that will come out after this video, maybe even later today, so stay tuned for that. My point here is that OnePlus has managed to create a rabid fan base that loves their design and their attention to detail, and like many other people, you can count me among that group. I might be gushing a little bit in this video, but honestly, this is one of those phones that just gets so many things right. OnePlus releases are already pretty exciting, and I think this might be one of the best ones so far. Clearly, the OnePlus fan base will continue to grow because of their latest products, which offer a ton to potential users. If you're coming from virtually any previous OnePlus device, you definitely owe it to yourself to check out the 7 Pro. The biggest achievement of this phone, however, is how compelling it is against pretty much any flagship this year, and there are a ton of them. Take a second to think about all I've shared in this video, even without a final camera analysis, and then realize that the 7 Pro line starts at $669 US. OnePlus is basically trying to drop the mic with this phone, and I think for a lot of people, they might have succeeded. Let me know what you think about OnePlus's latest devices, not only the 7 Pro, but also the Bullets Wireless 2. These are some pretty great headphones, and you can see what my thoughts are in a video coming a little bit later today. So subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, drop some likes on my videos so I know that you enjoy what I'm doing, and then you can head into the comment sections and we can have the discussion about all of these devices. I'm going to do my best to be in the comment sections, even though I am running around trying to get that real-world camera test done. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and call it on this one. Thank you once again for watching, and until my next video, I'll just remind you to enjoy your tea, everybody.